Welcome back to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice, telling the stories of Kansas City nonprofits. I'm Bobby Keys.
And I'm Ruth Bombigas.
And we are back at the library.
We're at the library, another monthly session down here. It's great.
That's right. And we just, first of all, it's beautiful here, as we always say.
Absolutely.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it earlier because we had the man, Mr. Larry Jacobs.
From the Kaufman Foundation.
Yeah, but yeah, we're back down here, and beautiful library. They don't want us to be quiet anymore. They don't want us to talk and be loud and communicate and talk to more nonprofits, especially.
Absolutely, and no fines, so you can come down,
That's
check out
right.
a book, watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, return your book on time, but you won't be fined. What better deal is there than that?
That's
Except for who we have. I'm so excited
because they've been doing huge
KC
things.
Pet Project has been doing tremendous things, and we are so lucky to have Tori Fugate here with us, with no animal, though.
I know. I couldn't bring one into the library.
Yeah, we weren't sure about that. We thought...
Yeah, I think that's the only thing you can
Yeah,
do.
we were a little afraid that we would have a spoiler alert. And we have Roshann Parris, who is everywhere doing everything, but her context being here today is she was the co-chair of Raise the Woof. I did say that correct.
Yes. You did.
You did indeed.
The tremendous fundraising effort that has allowed this beautiful new campus to open.
That is awesome.
So we want to hear all about it and bring us up to date with KC Pet Project. Nothing like a whole nut there to crack.
Oh my goodness. We have had the craziest few months since opening the campus. So we had our big transition where we actually had to move animals from the old shelter on Raytown Road to our new shelter at Elmwood and Gregory in Swope Park. And we had to move. It was around 200 animals, 250, just a couple days after Christmas, and that was a huge undertaking. But we had help from the mayor, who was great and transported some animals, the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, Brittany Matthews, Joe Loria with Fox 4. We had a lot of helpers as we, moved all these animals over and officially opened the doors of the Kansas City campus for animal care on January 1st. And then we had our big grand opening and ribbon cutting on the 24th. But there has not been really a normal week since we've moved in. We've had a lot going on other than the campus opening, but it's truly a remarkable facility if you've not had the opportunity to come by and see it. We're in beautiful Swope Park, and it's just been a wonderful change for the animals as well as the people of Kansas City, Missouri.
Give us a little bit kind of the highlights of the campus. And then I would love for Roshann to then jump in and talk about, why a campus? Why was this so needed in our community?
There's so many highlights that make this truly a unique facility. We went around to all the big shelters that are brand new around the country and benchmarked, and we learned a lot from them of what they loved about their facilities and what they hated and wish they would have done differently, and brought back all that knowledge. And then we feel like we've elevated it for this shelter in Kansas City. So you'll find that we have separate housing. Used to in the old shelter, we had animals that were literally stacked on top of each other in cages. All the dogs were in one room. Cats were in office spaces. It just was not at all conducive to the amount of animals that we have coming in, and it was highly stressful. Now we have 15 dogs in dog districts, and they're
Doggy districts
in beautiful bright colored kennels with glass fronts, no more bars at this campus. Cats have catio spaces that are indoor outdoor spaces that they're just absolutely loving. A lot of community rooms where we have a lot of cats that are looking for homes in one room, and adopters can go in and actually meet several cats at once. We have a state-of-the-art veterinary clinic that is truly doing remarkable things already. We've already seen a reduction of animals that are on medicine for things like stress, kennel cough, upper respiratory illness, things like that. We've already seen a 40% reduction since we've moved.
Oh, that's incredible.
To the new shelter, which is exactly the hope that we had when building the facility. And then, of course, this beautiful atrium with a retail space. We have a roastery coffee shop in the
little sneak peek. Yes, Mr. Danny will be our final segment. So
Shameless
little shout
plug.
out there,
Little shout out to
shameless plug
Danny
for
sitting
him.
over there. So yeah, it's a you can come in and just grab a coffee if you wanted to. So it's much more than just an adoption center. It's truly a campus feeling where you can come in, and we have an education pavilion that's very, very busy and active already. There's just so much happening there. So it's really great to get involved.
Roshann, you've been behind the scenes working on this for quite a while. Tell us a little bit about the journey.
8 years and 4 months.
Oh,
To be
my
precise. I got literally a middle of the night email from someone who knew someone who heard I was an animal lover, and Adele Hall and I very quickly pulled together a group of people in the chamber boardroom, which included animal welfare agencies from throughout the region. Gary Forsey at the University of Missouri was very helpful in bringing together vets from both K-State and MU to look at the situation very quickly. And a number of civic leaders, very generous civic leaders, jumped in and said, how can we help? We knew that one of the things they most needed at the time was a vet clinic, because they were literally operating out of a closet. This was an old reconverted warehouse from the Arrowhead days, when Arrowhead was originally built. It had been condemned for over 15 years by the state of Missouri. Tori is thoughtful in the way that she describes the circumstances they were living in, but it was just absolutely breathtaking for all that Kansas City values in terms of making it an extraordinary place to attract young people, an extraordinary place to live and work. This was the precise opposite of anything we as two-legged citizens of Kansas City would want for our four-legged citizens. And so we set about the journey of first getting them some emergency care. We asked a construction team to come in and look at what it would take to just get a mobile vet clinic in some trailers, and they quickly got to work, and within a matter of months we had a ribbon cutting for a vet clinic. And day after day, week after week, I asked them for an estimate, because we hadn't raised a dime yet for this. And on the day that the mayor and city council members and civic leaders came and cut the ribbon, I very nervously stepped over to the construction team and said, you know, you did something that exceeded expectations here. I need a budget. This is really scary. and the head of the actual owner of the company looked at me and he said, when I said don't worry about it, I mean don't worry about it. And that became the narrative of Kansas City, is that when I went to HNTB and said, could they help us with just a little bit of a design so that we understood what we would take to the voters for a huge GeoBond campaign, we needed a budget. And they sat down and started working with us. Obviously, no one in this region had ever designed an animal care campus, an animal shelter. And month after month, we met, and I finally said to the president of the architectural division, I promised you I'd let you stop at the point that you know, we needed to figure out how to pay you. And he said, I've got the biggest problem. I've got a team of people working on this. They won't stop. They can't stop. And so it went. Eventually, obviously, they came on board as our architect. And story after story like that. It was just a really extraordinary story of generosity in this community, and one that has now created what I will say, because I know it to be true, even though, again, Tori humbly won't, it is the nation's most state-of-the-art animal care campus. We are doing things there that no other shelter, no other campus is doing. We're very connected to the animal welfare community, and we know that. We're being somewhat humble about it, because we hope that in a minute somebody bests us. But we know that it takes many years, as it did here, to be able to bring voters together and a community together to create a vision that exceeded really all of our expectations. So we call it the house that love built, and it is definitely that every single day we cross the threshold.
Let's talk about the day-to-day now that you're in this new facility. What does that look like?
Well, it's a lot better, obviously, for the staff than the old facility and the animals. You know, we really built it with the staff in mind and how animals would flow through the building. We wanted to, you know, cut down on things like, you know, walking through the vet clinic if you didn't have to and you may have, you know, disease or anything like that. You know, there was a lot of focus that went into having areas where staff can just be all the time and they don't really have to leave that area, and how the animals flow through the building to reduce illness and things like that you see a lot in shelters. And so animals are in these bright rooms with a lot of natural light. There's music playing when you walk in. Used to, when you walked in the dog area, the decibel level alone was the same level as Arrowhead Stadium. We measured it once. It was
Oh my gosh.
just as loud
That's a lot of yapping dogs.
as Arrowhead Stadium.
That's
and
loud.
you can imagine what that stress is like on the animals. Today, you walk in, and if there's one dog barking, you're like, what's he barking about? It's
And there's beautiful music behind. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just zen.
it is a
Right,
zen
and
experience for
I
them.
know there's a lot of research that dogs respond and are calmed by classical music, which is wild. Maybe we should play it everywhere. We'll all be more calm.
I think we are. I think it applies to humans too, right?
Absolutely.
No question.
We have outdoor play yards so that adopters can go out and meet with animals in these lovely play yards. We have indoor meet and greet rooms. Before, if you wanted to meet an animal and it was raining out, you had to go outside with the animal in the rain. And here, you can meet them inside in these meet and greet rooms. So just day-to-day operations are just so much better. And volunteers, we have a wait list of people who want to volunteer at the shelter.
Right, did everybody hear that?
Yeah.
A wait list of volunteers? That's amazing.
A happy problem.
It is a very happy problem.
Can I move in? Can I just? I'll just rent a little area.
You need a dog, though. We've already discussed that.
I'm
Yes.
here.
I'll work for free. How about that?
We
can
have
get you
coffee.
connected.
Yes.
We have coffee. We have dogs. What more could you want?
Exactly.
It's a lovely problem to have. We have a lot of more people who are wanting to foster and do things like dog day outs now because it's so much easier to take them out, which is a wonderful program that we absolutely love. We have our community education pavilion that is booked almost every single day with people who are coming in to take classes at the campus, whether it's training classes on how to be a volunteer, things like that. But we have businesses that have had strategic planning sessions that they
So it doesn't
booked
have
there.
to be dog related.
No, we have event rental opportunities. We've had
Nice.
birthday parties already. We even
Boy
have a
Scouts,
woman.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah, so many Girl Scouts are coming.
Universities. I mean,
Did the birthday party? Did they leave with a puppy?
They did not leave with a puppy, but she was so sweet. She collected donations instead of gifts for
Oh, that's
herself
awesome.
for her birthday party, and so all of her friends brought supplies for the shelter.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's cool.
We brought a dog in so that they could all interact
on
with
it.
the shelter dog. And as you're in this room where our community education pavilion is, you're just overlooking these breathtaking views of Swope Park. You can see dogs on walks with staff and volunteers. It's just such a lovely setting.
around our pond.
We do have a pond. It's
Down by the
How
lake.
do you keep the dogs out of the pond? That's what I want to know.
Leashes.
There you go. There you go. Bottom line, though, since moving into this fabulous space and with great effort by the whole community and great leadership, what's going on with adoptions? Are you seeing more adoptions because of the change of the environment?
We are seeing an uptake in adoptions, which is great. We have a lot more people who are just coming to see the campus, and then they meet somebody and fall in love with them. Saturdays are very, very busy at the
Yes.
campus, which is wonderful. Unfortunately, the other piece of it is that we're also seeing a massive increase in pets coming in from the public. We have our admissions side, so we still provide all the lost and found services for Kansas City, Missouri. If somebody is looking for a stray pet, things like that, or if they have to own or surrender their pet.
Right.
That is still happening. We've seen 155% increase.
Why?
So
Because
far.
people feel their pet will be in a better place?
That's a lot of it.
No question.
And we saw that a lot when we took over operations of the old shelter. Our first year we cared for, I think it was around 6,000 animals, 67,000 or 6,700 animals.
Incredible.
And
Just
then,
wait. Just wait.
And then by year 2, we were at 10,000. So last year we were at 11,000, and it just continues to increase. And so, we had the small animals that all came in. It was almost 300 animals from one home. So our February numbers
Right.
were very large. But these are trends that are worrisome. And so we know that there's a lot of work that we have to do as far as getting out in the community, figuring out ways that people can keep their pets in their home. And that is, now that we're in the campus, we can start to build and expand on those programs, which is very exciting.
One of the things that's most important to understand is that Kansas City, when we got involved in this almost 8.5 years ago, we had the third largest no-kill shelter, no-kill open admission shelter in America. And when I would share that in remarks, speeches, et cetera, people would say, "Oh, wow, that's great, third largest," and I'd say it's precisely the opposite.
You don't want to be
city-
the
a
third
city our
largest.
size, in particular, should not have a problem that is that significant. And what we have learned over time, and what the Education Pavilion, Community Education Pavilion, seeks to help raise awareness around, is that our crime rate is inextricably tied to our animal welfare and animal abuse rate. Unfortunately,
How so?
Unfortunately, abuse often starts at the animal
With an
level.
animal.
And so when you look at child abuse, when you look at spousal abuse, even elder abuse, there are some staggering statistics that show that it starts with animals and the behavior goes on from there. So the fact that we are living today in such a significant time of crime, and something that our mayor deals with every day, there is absolutely a link to what we're trying to do on this campus. Again, I've said it many, many times. This is not a four-legged problem. This is a two-legged problem, and it's one that we together can hopefully change for the future if we're able to educate this generation, next generations around best practices, not only in the way you treat animals, but in the way we treat each other.
So how many dogs have you adopted since you've been involved with this, Roshann? I mean, I know we're all sitting around this table as animal lovers.
Well, I will say that we have gotten deeply involved in some wonderful placements. We have a cap in our community for 3, and we have 3. We are playing by the rules. They come each year to certify that we are a happy and safe home for our animals. But you know, Jeff and I do feel that we have adopted 10,000, and we never realized how much it would capture our hearts, but we remain deeply committed to the two-legged community, but the four-legged community also has our
Steals
hearts.
your heart.
It does.
Tori, how can people get in touch to come out and tour, to adopt, to volunteer, even though you have a wait list?
Go to our website at kcpetproject.org. You'll find all the information that you need on there, and you can actually start volunteering right on our website by watching a video, and you can sign up to be a foster. It's super easy, and everything you need is on our website, kcpetproject.org.
Thanks so much for sharing this exciting news for our animal world.
Thanks for letting us.